All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to Note Night in America. Glad to have you guys here. We are rocking and rolling along here with this episode. Got a lot of stuff to cover in our hour, so we're going to basically dive right on in for the most part for you all. But once again, thank you guys for all being here. Whether it's for the Note Closer Show, Note Night in America, or on our database, we're honored to have each and every one of you. And so, if you have questions, make sure to put your questions in the Q&A session. We're going to be rolling pretty fast because I want to get through this in an hour time frame for each and every one of you so that you've got some great nuggets. Don't worry about writing these down. I've got a link at the very end where you'll be able to grab the replays or grab the slides to what we're covering tonight. So if I don't go through everything immediately or you miss a screen, just take a deep breath, relax, and you can stick around to the end and you'll have a link to grab the slides via my slide share. So 60 ways to promote your event, everybody. So we're a big believer that we own our niche. I mean, we all own our niche, hopefully, but in the note space, we really own the niche when it comes to marketing for the most part. I mean, I've been teaching real estate, either coaching and some sort of thing in notes since 2004, since I started working with Bob Leonetti and Jimmy Caleb back then. Started a mortgage company with Boyd Pops. I was a banker before that, but when I left banking and went to work with them, I really, it was just a matter of time before I started teaching other investors how to market properly. I was very fortunate to have a great apprenticeship with a couple other people that really helped me identify some opportunities to use in marketing and owning our niche out there. So I started doing actually teleconference and webinars. I'm sorry, not webinars, teleconferences. This is on the phone, like conference calls to groups started in 2006 to groups. A webinar is much easier than a teleconference. You want to talk about chaos, get too many people on a phone, not muting themselves. It gets kind of loud and noisy. But anyway, I started doing teleconference in 2006. I did my first class or workshop was in 2010. We had 28 people the first time around. Second class I did about 3 months later, I had 3 people. So that was in-person workshops out there to promote, moved in. Started doing webinars in 2011, and we've gone anywhere from a webinar of having 300 to 700 people on it, okay? So we kind of know how to do some promotion. We did our first online workshop in 2015. We started with 75. We've had up to 300 plus people on a workshop. So excited that that's work done and it's helped us really kind of evolve what we're doing. Did our first online conference at Note Camp in 2016. We started with 200. Oh no, we had 337 people on that, but we had multiple conferences that ranged anywhere from 248 to 1,500 plus people. So we know kind of how to attract people to events. So today's topic is all about 60 plus ways to promote your different event. By events, I mean a variety of things. It doesn't mean you need to put your own conference on. If you're marketing in real estate, we're all in the media business of some sort. So you're either trying to get eyeballs or earballs in front of people, trying to get, whether you're going to do a webinar out talking about what your focus is or sharing, what are you buying or what are you investing in your deal flow. Maybe I know there's a lot of people that are doing like small live trainings and small workshops. We see that increasingly happening across the country. Doing a lunch and learn. This has been successful for quite a few people, whether it's online through a webinar or in person. Come in and learn about what we do. Come and look at the deals that we're working through. A lot of people are looking to put networking events in their local community, something that they can do once a month, once every other week. These are some ways they'll promote that. A mini summit, a one-day mini summit. Some people are doing these in a variety of different fashions, okay? Or they're looking at, hey, let's talk about my portfolio. Let's talk about a way to see exactly what we're investing in, if we're starting a fund or anything else like that. Of course, if you got a podcast, a lot of these things can be used to promote your podcast. Not only online or recordings, but also podcast events or other things are going on. Or, of course, if you want to do something big, a conference and expo is something you can do to use these things to drive traffic in, whether you're part of it or whether you're speaking at it or anything. So I encourage you to ask questions. Try to keep them as on time and on track as best you can throughout this because we're going to rock and roll through this stuff. I'm going to try to explain it if it's not clear. But for the most part, I think I got 64 ways for you to basically promote here. And this will work if you're promoting your business. I don't care if you're a loan officer or a realtor or investor. A lot of these things you can do on a regular basis to promote. So let's start with the first round, 1 through 5. Okay, 1, Here's the first thing you got to have, really, though, to have an event. You have to create a website of some sort. And it's easier than it's ever been before. Yeah, you could use Wix or something like that, but I think creating a website will help drive people to it. You'll have something to drive people to get signed up. It's kind of your main focal point you first need to have to really have anything rock and roll. And that's Leadpages or ClickFunnels. Both of those are great websites, or kind of landing page creators. I mean, you see MailChimp, you see Infusionsoft, you see some of the others create landing pages, but these two things are the ones we use the most, and it's where a lot of the online marketers use it. Very easy to use, plug and play, plug and drag. You don't have to be a WordPress expert. This comes in really handy, and we use it on a regular basis to promote our different events out there. Host a webinar is another thing to drive traffic to your audience. Zoom, go to Webinar, Webinar Jam. There's a variety of things. You could do a regular webinar like we do with Note Night in America here. We do with all the times with a sneak peek prior to our note camps, prior to our like a social media days, prior to our podcast mass media summits. You can do pre-event stuff. Hey, here's an event prior to it and get rock and rolling. So doing something that you bring people together is a really great thing. And it helps you with the reason you require people to register. You should never do an event where you don't require them to register, because if they register, now you have their information to market to them on a future event as well too. One of the biggest things doing, building a database. 3, you can create, once you've got a website up and have a date and kind of time plan, you create a Facebook event page. This is free. This is going to help you. You can either pay to promote it or invite up to 250 people to your event as well, of your friends. You can take that event and share it across different groups, different Facebook pages and things like that. Tagging your speakers. You're going to have more speakers. Put in the agenda. Facebook event page it's very helpful. And works when you're going to be promoting as well, to driving people to that so they can see what's going on, and of course to your website. Facebook groups. You should be promoting in Facebook groups out there. There are so many Facebook groups that you either be a membership or open. Some won't let you promote, which is okay, but find groups that fall in line with what your main message is, or what your event or your marketing is all about. All right. Of course, LinkedIn event. This is kind of new. LinkedIn has a new ability, like a Facebook event page. LinkedIn has a new event post that's new, relatively new, just the last few weeks that we just started using that. Also, you can share it to groups. You can share it to your profiles. It's a really cool thing to do that. But that's 1 through 5. Okay. Moving on here. 6 through 10. Eventbrite event. Eventbrite's free to do. You can post this. You can create the same event across multiple cities. They now have a category if you're going to do an online event that you can go on and search. That works really well too. That's still free. You can link it in directly to your Facebook page too, to help sell tickets to a Facebook event page too. We've done this with Note Night in America and other events we'll do. We'll go out, especially to some of the bigger markets, and actually create online events. I think posting in the city with a city address, where it's just like, say, online webinar at 123 Main Street, gets better traction than posting that as an online event. But Eventbrite is free. People are looking at it for events. It's kind of a cool thing, and it's just an extra way to get your word out on what you're doing. One of the things that's important, is always a good thing to do if you've got existing clients or members or something like that you're a part of, that you have people on. A great way to sell initial tickets from your event is just sharing it to your existing clients. Hey, I'll give you a bonus at half price, or 25% off, or something to your current clients, current members, to help promote it, and someone will share it out there as well to you. So that's a great way to do it as well. 8. This is one thing that we do. If you look at my signature, if I bring my video up here, at the bottom of my signature, you see where it says Scott Carson, text notes to sending 2000. That's a call to action. You can put a website in there, weeklovesnotes.com, or I have a texting opt-in with Mobit. I've seen it used in a variety of ways. Scott Carson text is my first name in Zoom, and then notes to sending 2000 is my last name under my profile. So that's one way that you would do it on there as well. You could use other things like BeLive or OBS allows you to put in, bottom thirds and things like that as well too for you. But I like using Zoom, and that's one of the simplest things you can do. We get opt-ins from our YouTube videos and things like that replays on a regular basis. Extra early bird pricing. This would be something that you offer up as an extra bonus on the front end, especially if you're 6 months out or more than 3 months out. Get the extra early bird, give them the lowest price possible, just to get something in You can run promotions. You want to have time limits where it's not the same extra early bird pricing. This is only good for a week, good for a month, good for the end of the month, good for this weekend only. Is an important thing to do, but it'll also help drive traffic and ticket sales into your event because people will start to take notice. And what you have to realize, everybody, you're trying to get in front of everybody's eyeballs multiple times so that they can start seeing, oh, I need to sign up for this. Oh, I see this. Oh, I see this. Oh, I see this. Let's face it, rarely do we see an event and immediately sign up immediately for it right then and there. Most of the time, we don't do that. It's the first, second, or third time we see something before we decide to get around and doing it. Most of us, anyway. 10, you can offer a bump sale pricing. Bump sale, is bumpsale.com. It's a cool plugin for your websites. It allows for you to start pricing off at $1 or $20, and then to increase by a specified amount, whether it's $1, $5, $10. You give it bump up for every sale. This is a great tool to kind of see initial pricing, but also gets people excited. Oh my God, I got this for $1. Oh my God, I got this for $5 when it's normally $97. So people will share when they get a discount. You know what I mean? It's kind of easy to do. What's nice about bump sales is it'll create you the HTML code and place it into your lead pages or your click funnels. You want to create a separate landing page just for your bump sale away from your main page. We've done that and it's worked out well. Okay. I would always create an event manual most of the time, something that's going to have, and the thing about creating a PDF, it's people like to have something that they can print and take with them, whether it's the profiles, they like to jot notes down in on it. You can have the bios, you can have websites. This gives you something also that you can create, put the schedule in there. You can also create ads for it, sell ads to sponsors. But this is a great thing. People really like the event manual. And whenever we have done it, people have really loved it. When we haven't done it, people have always asked for it. And sometimes we've been limited on the time, so we can get enough of it out. But we always strive to have an event manual of some sort, maybe either before, or this is something you do even after if you're going to use transcriptions or blogs or things like that with replays. Okay. Email blast sequence. You need to jot down your email. You will all have a database. Hopefully you do. And so you got to figure out, hey, what's the first email that's going on? If they click on it, what's the second email? If those that didn't click on it, hey, how soon are you going to send the same email back to them to get them to click on it? Because what you're going to see is roughly somewhere between a 10 and 20% open rate, if not more, the first time around. The second time maybe 6 to 10, third time maybe 2 to 5%. If you're sending it to the people that didn't open it, okay? First, the people that opened the first time, they don't get the second and third email. They get a different email. So having your email blast sequence written out and what are you going to talk about, what's going to be focused, and how often you're posting is an important thing to promote. But it's a very critical, still one of the best ways to promote your event. Another thing that I like using, I like when I have my speakers or people that are going to be on one of my events or my meetings, have them use a Calendly tool, because this way in my Calendly, it's a meeting tool that links in and gives them the spots they can pick from. But I've asked them what their bio is, their headshot link, any social or hashtags they like or anything like that. So I have it all in one spot. So it makes it easier for myself or my staff to literally take all that information and they can either share it out real quickly. Hey, so-and-so's here. Here's their bio. Here's their headshot. We're excited to have them speaking at the event, okay? So as you get things booked, that's a great way to use in promotion, besides just having it there where it's everything in one place. Since we use Zoom so much with webinars, Zoom allows for you to create 20 special links. So like if I am promoting an event, like if I have 20 speakers, I can give them each a Zoom link to share with their audience for either free or to share, hey, we're going to get sneak peek where their staff or team can come in and watch and speak during that session. So you can see who promotes, how many people clicked on it, and how many people actually registered, and we'll track it when you export your list. Like so-and-so came from Melinda, so-and-so came from Juliet. So that's a thing most people don't know, but it caps out at 20 unique lead gen links for people to use, okay? I'll come back to that because that's important when you're marketing later on. YouTube videos. Look, if you're going to do, we talked about Zoom links and emails beforehand. Take your videos, throw them up on YouTube, but then add links to it inside the description, add end cards, keywords, description links. That's important. You don't need the longest hour-long promo videos. Short videos work well. Short promo, 5, 10 minutes sneak peeks could be a little thing. Quick little bios, quick little interviews on YouTube with your speakers or about a little specific subject you're covering can come in really handy for you as well to promote out. And YouTube, second largest search engine, Google #1. It's important, though, you've got to have the links and end cards and keywords all in there. And you can use TubeBuddy to help you with that, to help you streamline some of that stuff there really easy. Okay. Most of us have a YouTube community. If you've got a YouTube channel, you usually have a community or are able to communicate with your followers in some sort of fashion, subscribers. I have a YouTube community page of mine. I use images. You can use a poll. You can use video and to communicate with and promote. I like it as well. It's just an extra way, extra touch to do that. I think if you're going to do an event, you should have 3 different ticket options. You should have general admission, VIP, or backstage pass. And the reason you do this, the reason a general admission is for those that just want to come in and learn and maybe a little tighter on their budget. Midway, you add some bonuses, maybe throw in the replays for that. It's an easy upsell. And then also a VIP backstage match. Maybe add a little extra bonus. Maybe they're part of the mastermind you're doing, or they get extra coaching or something. But having a 3-tiered approach, people love in 3s. And so those that will say, oh, I get more value from this, that pay for a higher ticket are going to be probably your ideal clients to follow up with immediately. Those that are more general admission, hey, they're going to show up, but they're maybe not ready quite to purchase. And you can always go back when somebody buys a ticket with a sale. Hey, I saw you just bought general admission. Sure, you don't want to pick the upgrade before we get rocking and rolling there for you. Okay. You need to create infographics, number 18, for each speaker. Take their headshot. This is what's so important about having their Calendly. You take the logo of the event or whatever you're doing, their headshot, who they are, their title, and maybe when they're speaking or a link to the events. Hey, I'm speaking at Mass Media Podcast, or I'm speaking at PodFest, or I'm speaking at Note Camp. We've used these all, and the speakers like it because it's easy for us to use, not only for them as we send it out to them, but also to use it in the future. We've talked about this before. Speakers provide discount codes for each speaker or affiliate links. Some speakers want affiliate links. Others just want a discount code they can give to their audience. Either works well. It's why you're going to need a CRM tool of some sort like Infusionsoft or a merchant account that can do that. But provide that. Expect that on the front end and have that ready to roll when you have a speaker RSVP. It doesn't take too long to do, but it's important to do because a lot of them, hey, don't be afraid to give away half the ticket sales on affiliates, because if they're promoting, get half of something is a whole lot better than 100% of nothing. Okay. Here's the thing too, with these infographics, you want to share these. We use Buffer on the front end, during and after, but sharing it to Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, even Pinterest. Hey, here's what's going on. And not every speaker will share themselves, but if you tag them, they'll a lot of times accept the tag, so the people are checking out their profiles like, okay, I'm cool with you tagging me, but I may not share it. You just realize speakers, other people coming to your event may or may not share what you've got going on, okay? We're third of the way through. Wow, rocking and rolling along, okay? Another way is posting to different meetup groups. Meetup groups are a great way. Meetup groups are so many different meetup groups with interests and niches across there. You've heard me talk about this probably before if you've been on one of my Note Night in America, or talking about on Note Closure Show as well too. Meetup groups have multiple ways for you to post to their audiences. It's free to join the meetup groups, and they will often have mailing lists that they publish, discussion boards, or message boards that you can do. Sometimes all 3, sometimes maybe just 1, sometimes not, but most of the groups will have at least 2 of those, if not 3 of those that you can market to. So it's an important thing. If you're doing an online event, you want to attract other people, or you're doing a live event, go to local meetup groups in the area. Now, I would talk first if you're going to be offering something up. Talk to the person that runs those meetup groups. Make sure you're not stepping on anybody's toes. You may need to offer them an affiliate discount code or a discount to their members. So keep that in mind. We'll cover that later on. I like doing short 5 to 10 minute preview interviews with speakers and then posting those to social media. That's a great way to get momentum going. Hey, we've got Jason Bible on here from Mr. Texas Real Estate. We're going to talk quickly about what he's going to share at the upcoming Note Camp. All right. Or we've got Patrick Precourt, who's our keynote speaker for Saturday. Hey, Patrick, what's quick 3 nuggets you're going to share while speaking? If there's local colleges that would do benefit, there's somebody who providing education, maybe a student pass. Hey, send me a copy of your student ID. and we'll give you a free ticket. We've done military passes. Hey, send me a copy of your military ID, and we'll comp you in to a workshop. And people really, really love that and appreciate that. It's a little extra discount. Hey, it's better to have somebody there than nothing. You got a requirement to be there. Is a big thing. If your speakers, the people you're having on, are a part of the thing, if they have a mastermind group or a membership that they've sold, those people are buyers. So I'm not afraid to, hey, you offer up a discounted ticket or a free pass to your membership group that you're speaking to. It's a great way to promote. Oh, yeah, I'd love to be on. You're speaking now. I want to hear more about what you're talking about. So their cheerleaders will come on and be cheerleaders to them at your event as well, too. So this is a great way to promote as well. If you can find somebody who's willing to share it and has a group, they understand that you're busting your butt and that they should bust their butt as well, too, to help promote the event if possible. Okay. Now, not everybody's going to, pimp out their list, and that's totally fine. You realize you're doing most of the promotions for the things, but speakers see you doing a lot of things, oftentimes they'll share to their audience as well. I think it's also important to doing Facebook Lives videos in different groups. You can do it straight from your phone. You can share it directly to different groups you're a part of. Doesn't need to be long. You can share it. You can use LiveLeak to share in a lot of cases if you're administrators across multiple groups. Otherwise, you need to join it individually and share it one at a time. Okay. 26 through 30. If you see big groups, large groups, maybe there's a discount. Maybe like let's see, big, like you say, there's a Austin Chamber of Commerce. Here, I would say, hey, we're doing an online event for business or something like that. Hey, here's a special discount for if you're an Austin Chamber of Commerce, or get 20% off for being double AARP members. You know what I mean? Facebook groups, associations, meetups, LinkedIn groups. These are different things. The reason you would maybe do an affiliate discount or tracking code or something like that is you can see where everybody comes from and see what your best bang for the buck is when it comes down to where everybody's coming from. Okay. You could do a mini summit on Instagram. Instagram Live will allow you to go for an hour straight. So you could bring on, 3 or 4 speakers probably 3 if they're going to do 15 minutes each, and do a mini summit of 60 minutes promoting your major event. We've seen this done. Our buddy Adam Scheibel likes to do this for his events, and it's a great thing. So it draws attention not only from your profile, but people you have on their profile. So make sure if you're doing this, make sure you check out your speakers' Instagram profiles if you're going to do this. That way they're notified, their audience is notified when they go live on your summit, and it's a great way to drive engagement that way too. I'm a big fan of using Octopus CRM with LinkedIn and sending out custom messages, 100, 150 a day, direct to people that fall in my line. Hey, asset managers, podcast hosts, real estate investors, note investors. Hey, I'd like to invite you to this event. Hey, I'd like to invite you to this event I'm hosting. Great to meet with you, connect with you. We've got this in common. I like to include a link to a short video that I insert in that, but this is done really, really well for me. It's a tool that I love using. And some people are like, well, you're not building a relationship. I'm working to build a relationship. Hey, I got an special event I'm doing. Here's a link to that event. Normal price is this. If you're interested, it's half price for you. Use this code. You can use another service called LeadFuse to help you build custom lists that you can market out to, either Twitter profiles, Facebook profiles. Sometimes you can pull a pretty decent list of emails off of LeadFuse. Most of the time, it's just going to give you their LinkedIn profile link that you can upload to Octopus CRM as well. So those two go hand in hand. Okay. You can also use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Will help you build lists and go that route. Sometimes people like that. You guys spend some time messing around with it. It's not free, but it's something that can help you, drive traffic and promote your event out to people on LinkedIn that you feel would benefit from it, or your ideal clients. That's the beautiful thing about LinkedIn. Okay. Over halfway, everybody. Association lists. If you're a member of an association or a group or something like that, a lot of times you may be able to purchase a list of members and then market to those lists with a discount or an email blast out. Hey, fellow self-storage investors, I'm hosting an online self-storage summit. Love to talk with you about. Maybe you're interested in speaking, something like that. Okay. You can also reach out to your sponsors. Potential sponsors. They will often have a database. Hey, let's do a special discount code for your listeners or your clients. or your list or your promotion to your database as well. Okay, most of them sponsors will come on are glad to promote once or twice out. You'll need to make sure you have a pretty clearly written email. You don't want to be too long, but something short and sweet that they can share across their social media or their email blasts. Okay, this is the holy grail. If you can get your speakers to email blast to their list, as long as it's beneficial, great. You want obviously a tracking code so you can say, hey, thank you very much. One of the things that I like to try to do is use a tracking code so that if a speaker does a blast and that person signs up, one of the people on their list signs up for somebody else's, give them a kickback, a percentage of sales, even though it's not their stuff. That will help ensure tough. Links, images, obviously you need to have the infographics, you need to have the emails pre-written so that they can plug and play pretty easy templates for everybody out there as well. All right, but this is one of the things that the speakers always ask for. Do you have anything I can promote? Let me help promote it, but I need an email. And you need a couple, and you have timing of it. So you need to plan it out ahead of time. If you've got enough of runway before your event, maybe sponsoring or speaking at other speaker events are available out there. You know, hey, I'd love to speak at your event. And sometimes you can be either a speaker. Hey, you're speaking at mine. Can I speak at your event? Or, hey, can I sponsor your event to get stage time? Or if I can't sponsor your event, can I have a booth in the hallway? You see that happen at a lot of events where there'll be a sponsor and they'll have a booth and be able to communicate with people that are in an event live or virtually. Or, hey, I'm going to sponsor your event. Can I get the list of contacts there? I've done that before. You know, do it via webinars, do it with workshops. It's a great thing. Like I've sponsored different networking events where my whole goal was just to get the database, this 300 or the 600 or the 900 people on the database. That was worth me paying the $300 or the 400 or the 500 so that I could send an email blast out to those otherwise afterwards. Okay. Going to local networking events or BNI groups and Business Networkers International. This is something we've done to grow our local database. You know, the beautiful thing about BNI is you're going to get business owners that are spending money for marketing. And so if you've got something that you want to connect with local businesses or a local event, whether it's in person or online, hey, show up to that BNI group. I wouldn't offer a free because free still has no value, but you'd offer a substantial BNI discount or something like that to those that are interested. You could go to BNI.com right now and find out all the BNI groups in your area and connect with them. Phone numbers, emails, a lot of times. Oftentimes the BNI groups will give you actually the written list before you leave there, which is a great tool. All right. Other things, going to live local real estate clubs or meetup groups, other networking events, Chamber of Commerce, you know, Rotary events, things like that. Same thing, sponsorship. Sometimes they want you to buy a membership to their stuff. Do it. It's well worth it, especially if you can network and really build in context. Now, you're going to have some stuff lined up, business card, flyers, maybe some banners or something like that. But it comes in handy, especially if you've got a long enough ramp up. My buddy Chris Kremositz, who runs Podfest, he spends about 10 months out of the year traveling and speaking at other events to drive people to his events. Okay. Chamber of Commerce networking is if you're doing something business-wise or something local, hey, join the Chamber of Commerce often can be a great tool, especially depending on how active your chamber is or what other type of events they have or subgroups that might fit in with what you're doing. Okay. Local small business administration's offices are a great place because these are the guys that are helping small businesses, and they can put you in touch with people that are going, you know, that are your ideal clients or people going through the same thing, or other places that can help you promote your event, or if your event is valuable, you may be able to add some people to it pretty inexpensively. This may sound old school, but posting event flyers at different places. Okay. What I mean by this, like I go into Juice Land a couple times a week to get a juice after my workout. They've got a message board with flyers. There's a guy that goes through there and posts flyers once a week and takes them down, puts up the newest events. So that's what I'm talking about. Coffee houses like Starbucks will have them. Grocery stores will have an event, a community page. Even like if you've got local vendors, your local insurance, or like Quest does stuff where we'll have events, we'll go drop off flyers so they can hand out to their clients that come through. If you've got a community group, a community house, like if you're in an apartment complex and you're doing something there, post there. At your local gym, a lot of time will have community events that you can post things there as long as you're a membership. They want to encourage members and community members sharing what they've got going on. So that could be something very valuable for you too as well. Okay. This is old fashioned. This will cost you some money, but it's still pretty inexpensive. posting ads in the penny savers. It's a free newspaper a lot of times, or even running an ad in a newspaper can be pretty awesome still, depending on what you're doing. Look, if you're in real estate, still posting like a handyman special is a great ad, or hey, I got a weekend workshop, or hey, I got a podcasting, I got a podcast on this, you may want to check it out. Because let's face it, you want to be posting for your event, your online, whatever it might be, wherever people may be at. And yes, some of these things we're going through more for like an event versus does for a webinar or a lunch and learn. The idea to this, everybody, is that you got plenty of opportunities and plenty of ways to promote what you're focused on, what you're working on. It's not all online. Some of it's actually old-fashioned, post an ad in Penny Saver. Okay, some places, depending on where you're at in the country, some of those things will still work very, very valuable for you. Okay, direct mail, postcards. This is something you may want to do to drive people into a networking event, to a local expo or something like that. We've done this where we dropped out postcards, say, hey, we're going to be speaking in 3 weeks at the REI Expo. Bring this card as a discount. Bring it to booth number 47. I'd love to have you come out and hear me speak at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. That's worked out well for us in the past. Direct mail can be expensive, especially when you start adding postcards and postage to it. But talk to some of the events. If you've got a big enough runway, we're going to have mailing list. All you need is 1 or 2 people to show up and interact with you, whether they sign up or become clients or something like that, to make it valuable for you. Okay. Some speakers of your groups may have a Facebook page, or they have their own groups that you can post on. May want to make sure you get permission to tag them, or they've got their own groups. Hey, I'm speaking. Like Aaron Young has his inner circle thing. Hey, Aaron's speaking this week on this. Maybe something you're interested in. Okay. Conference and events prior to your event. We talked a little bit about this. Look at the different conferences. Look at this in the bigger events that are going on. They may offer up opportunities for you to get a booth at, or they may be able to come up and you go hand out flyers, or go hand out and be at an event, or do some cool marketing prior to the event. You can often get sponsored for booth. Like I found out, like for Steph's got her Fur Babies podcast. She could buy a booth basically at Popcats, this big pet and dog, primarily cat expo that takes place in Houston for like $300, where they'll have like 10,000 people come through. Great to have a booth at, for her to sponsor her thing to get things off and running for her. And she was putting on like a weekend event later on. She could buy the booth and promote a weekend event later as well, and still be able to get in front of a lot of people there. Okay. Speaker preview emails. I would be doing this 2 to 3 weeks out to your database. If you've sent out, hey, here's what's going on, here's what's in, start doing, hey, previewing. And besides, hey, who's just speaking here, start doing a little preview where you're bringing some of this different real estate together, the short videos or their infographics or their bios. Tell them why they want to hear about you. Your database trusts you, so share, hey, why this is important. Here's why it is. Or, hey, here's a previous interview I've had with this person before about this, and they're going to talk about this and this at the upcoming event. Okay? Your email list, and you want to definitely highlights and accomplishments. And short preview videos, hey, if it's not worth hearing this guy speak for $99 or $149, don't worry about it. Okay? But what I'm trying to get at is you want to add environment. Hey, I'm really excited to have Sharon Lecter, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, speaking at Note Keep this year. Okay? And here's a short little interview I did with her beforehand when she spoke on the last one. Okay? I like using guest appearances on similar podcasts. If you don't have a podcast, if you've got an event or something you're working on, or a real estate area, local real estate investors, Austin real estate. Hey, I'm a local note investor, or I'm a local fix and flipper, or hey, I'm a local insurance. There's all sorts of different things. So many podcasts out there. I mean, there's 800,000 plus podcasts, but only roughly about 250,000 are still active. I guarantee you can find something in your area. And oftentimes many podcasts are looking for interviews of some sort. Hey, you've got an upcoming event. You've got enough, so want to make sure that you're doing this at least probably a month out. Find out what their schedule is to publish, so that you're like, hey, coming on to promote my event next week. Well, we don't publish for 2 weeks. That's not going to be effective. So maybe the next event, and go from there. Okay. You can also this is something that we see this done where people are paying for podcasters to read a quick 30 to 45 second ad. Sponsoring, I'll pay you $500 to read this 30 to 45 second ad on your next 12 episodes or your next 5 episodes. Because if they've got a large enough audience, hey, that may be valuable enough. Hey, Jim Bob over here is talking about the REI Expo coming up in Dallas, and I listen to Jim Bob. So if Jim Bob says it's a good event, I'm going to sign up for it. Okay. We've talked about, papers, newspapers, local magazines. Oftentimes, Austin Living, Texas Living. There's some different things that you can use to promote event. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, or you may even see if they need a news article written. Okay. Do you have something you can offer up to a reporter, a journalist? We had Christine Haas from the Media Max Out talk about this on the Mass Media Podcast Summit a couple of weeks ago. Putting an article together or something that is interesting and relevant what's going on makes it easier for you to get published. I mean, heck, I contribute to Podcast Business Journal on a weekly basis just to share something. It takes me 10, 15 minutes to write a 700, 800 per word article, and I share it there. It helps out getting to promote stuff. Austin Business Journal, and I mean by news journal event pages, they will often, hey, what's going on in the community page. You may also see this for other events or other driven stuff like, we'll give you an example, like kview.com, our local news may have as their online website. They have what's going on where you can go and post different events that are taking place. Okay. Also, you may be able to advertise on other websites. We use this with some thumbnails for posting an event. We'll go and find a couple things. We've used this with Node MLS. We've used this with Podcast Business Journal. We've got a couple other things we're doing in the future where we create the thumbnails for an easy ad and promote. It may be just swapping ad space or sponsorships where they're running our thumbnails on their website. People they click on their website, they see us pop up. Okay. Pages of magazines, newsletters. You'll see a lot more of this online advertising taking place these days. It makes it really easy, especially if you're using retargeting to go back and forth. You can always write a press release. I would use this for major events. I wouldn't say, hey, I'm writing a press release, I'm doing a webinar this week. But something major happening in your business, something major happening, you're putting on a conference or a summit or you're speaking somewhere, something critical. Hey, press releases are a great way to get some word out on what you're doing. As long as it could cost you a little bit of money, a couple $100. You have e-releases, news wires, a whole variety of press releases out there. We've used this very strategically in our business. When we had a major event, major milestone, we use a press release in a couple different ways. When we close on a big trade, you'll see that happening. It's also a big email launch. We'll do an email blast along the press release as well too. Hey, we were in Newswire or something like that as well. Here, check out the release. Okay. Another ways, Craigslist events ad. I know this sounds crazy, but Craigslist still gets in front of a lot of people. And if you can do the event stuff, you can post, hey, we've got an upcoming webinar, upcoming event, upcoming summit in a couple weeks. I wouldn't do it really more than a week or 2 weeks out, especially now if it's an in-person event, you probably want to start promoting it ahead of time, at least a month. If it's an online event, 2 weeks. But you can post very cheaply, very inexpensively across multiple Craigslist pages and drive traffic to it. You could always, 52, purchase an email list. I would not go and say I'm going to pay to go out on somebody's list. Those don't work. They're worthless. I'm going to do a list swap. What I'm saying is a lead list. Like you could go to Exact Data, Melissa Data, something, two of those, and find out what kind of lists they have that fall in line with what you're trying to promote. It's a great way to build a database initially. You have to be careful about emailing out to them a little bit at a time, kind of drip marketing in. So you want to give yourself some lead time. But you may pay as little as 6 to 14 cents per lead to get a big list. And so talking to those two companies, they can help you with the list and tell them what you're looking for, what you're trying to do. And they can often sometimes cater something that works really, really well and valuable to you. Right? But that's going to obviously cost you some money. Getting more into, you can use Facebook and Instagram to geo-target other events. We've done this for a variety of different events in the note space, or even the podcast and the marketing space. If there's a big conference going on that we can't make it to, we'll geo-target within a mile to 5 mile radius around the event location, and run it like $20 a day or $30 a day. It's cheaper than a ticket and airfare out. So we'll try to target them where it pops up in their phone if they have the interest in this and that. It's a pretty easy thing to do. You can do this with real estate deals. You can do this with other events, especially if you're targeting specific things, getting people to opt in. And I'll give you an example, like Traffic and Conversion Summit. It's coming up here in a couple weeks. Largest marketing event taking place in the country, about 10,000 people. You can believe I'm going to be doing some Facebook and Instagram targeting to within 5 miles of the San Diego Convention Center for real estate marketing and also podcasting. Okay. You can always post ads, post images, and then run an ad on Instagram and Facebook as well too. That's going to cost you some money. They talk about if you're going to do something on a regular basis, $1 a day is really all you need. And I would highly recommend that. It allows you to be able to split test things. You can create a couple different infographics or images, and then promote that out. That's come in handy too. And one of the things that people really have done well in liking a lot of our images that we kind of bring in movies and quotes and things like that. And so, we can create that and then use that as the ad space or the ad image that does really well to people liking that. Another thing, you can always invite a friend bonus. People that have signed up, hey, invite a friend for free. Okay, you can invite a friend bonus. That will, I know somebody that's interested. Great. Invite your friend. Okay. For your people that signed up, creating I'm attending, an infographic for just them. Say, hey, I'm attending. Are you? That's a great way to build influencers, especially micro influencers. It also works into people sharing your image and often doing free social media posts, which is awesome. Okay. The more posts you get, the more eyeballs you're in front of. 80% of sales coming up from the 5th contact. Maybe it's 3 of your contacts and 2 from people that they know, like, oh, wait, this is serious. They got him and her and them. Okay, I need to sign up for that. We talked about add a friend. You may also want to do an email blast out or to your people sign up. Hey, here's a special ticket to get half off. If you want to add a friend, or if your friend wants to come, here's a special half off ticket or a promotion. If you don't want to do an add a friend for free, you can always charge for it as well. Instagram, keyword targeting, messages and posts. So you can follow specific hashtags or keywords on Instagram. And so you can see who's posted either the most popular or also the ones that are the most recent. And so I've used that to track down other note investors, other real estate investors, other podcasters by looking at a very relevant, I'll give you an example, like real estate podcast is one thing that I track. So if anybody has that in their hashtag, I'll look and I try to follow it because I'm learning new marketing things. I also connect with their audience. Hey, have you thought about having somebody on to talk about note investing? Or, hey, have you thought about maybe coming to this event? We're doing this event online. All right. Or, hey, are you a real estate? Well, hey, have you thought about, we've got an event. If you're interested in notes, we've got an event that's coming up. All right. You can either do direct messages. You can see people are commenting. I'll go and follow those people or maybe go and send a direct message. Hey, I'm posting an event there. You got to be careful about that. You're not spamming everybody, but it's a great way to start conversations. Hey, how long have you been a real estate investor? How long have you been a note investor? There's some conversations you can start with that will lead to, do the same thing on Twitter too. I think it's the next one I have. Yeah, on there. You can use Instagram, Twitter to build your audience up. You can connect with people, grow your following, and it becomes a really cool thing that you can do. Okay. 60, YouTube advertising videos. You can create short 1 to 2 minute videos or go straight to YouTube and figure out some easy ad videos on there. That's going to take a little bit better production. You can't do something cheap, but can be a really valuable ad spend. I see some of the same ones. I know it's working for the people I see over and over and over again. So one beautiful thing is sometimes online training and things work well for that. Depending on what you're offering, an event, training, seminar, it can be very effective because, like I said, Google AdWords, you can promote there. We're not going to talk about that. That's not one of my 60, but I would do on YouTube. Okay. And that gives us the last 4 basically. I would take your videos that you're sharing in like Facebook Lives, and then I would restream them. I would reshare them across Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, post them on LinkedIn. You can use Restream.io, and you can do it once, or you could set it up with Restream to automatically repeat on a regular basis. Something to think about. Also, you may want to reach out to local morning shows. Like if there's a TV, if you're in a big enough market that has its own TV show, and then more like San Antonio Live or Austin Live, when you got an event coming, reach out to them ahead of time. Hey, I've got an event coming up. Didn't know if you'd like to talk to us, like to have me on to talk about that and why it's so valuable in your local area. It can be very helpful. Okay. Same thing. If you've got your favorite TV show or favorite radio stations in an area to listen to, hey, some of them have drive time shows. You can get up early in the morning. I've done this before in Tampa. Got up and was on the 7 a.m. show at an event beforehand. Hey, I'm going to be live here. It's a great thing to do. And number 64 is our last one. You want to use some sort of survey or some sort of quiz that you can ask from your audience there. And I like to keep it, 10 to 25 questions. Obviously, the fewer the questions, the probably the higher hit rate, but the more valuable make the questions either. So like I'll often offer up the list as a bonus. Hey, if you fill out the survey, you'll get the survey question answer. Or, hey, this is sponsored by Quest, and that, hey, you want to get the answers to the question, we'll add a couple questions in there that work for your IRA company or for your insurance company or for an affiliate option, okay? We always try to get, especially these open-ended questions, so that as people are responding, I can go back and see where the results are and see hot buttons of what people are looking for. And I'll cover that in just a second here, because we'll adjust the marketing accordingly as based on questions that are being answered along the way. So some of the questions, and we got a lot of questions here. So these are the top 26 kind of questions we'd like to ask in a variety of things. So like obviously name, LinkedIn link, their LinkedIn handle, if they have a website, their city, state, zip. You don't need the full address. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's just better to have state, city, state. Obviously email is important, cell phone. That way you can communicate, text message them. Their biggest goal, their biggest weakness. That's an important thing. And you may want to make those open-ended. Hey, what's your biggest goal for this event? Or what's your biggest weakness in your business? How many years you've been doing deals, okay? How many deals have you done in the last 12 months or since you got started? Do you have a favorite book that you would recommend to people in your field, or a favorite quote? Those are great things, so then you can actually bring those bonuses out. You have a favorite book? Oh, great. Hey, here's something we may want to give away, or a favorite quote. You can feature people throughout and give them ego bait. If you have a vendor that's a sponsor, something like that, maybe you want to ask them some questions. Like we've done this with Quest in the back. Hey, do you have a self-directed IRA? When we ask people who are coming through our real estate events. Yes, okay. Who is that with? Okay. Oh, especially in the mortgage event. Hey, do you have a servicer? Who is that? Who's servicer with? Who are you servicing your loans with? And that would work well, so that we could give that list to our vendors or our sponsors, and they would be able, oh, hey, here's 100 people said they don't have a self-directed IRA. Let's reach out to them. Or hey, here's 50 people that have an IRA, but it's another company that I know that we could probably wow them with service. Okay. Do they have an LLC? Works as a great question for us to refer to our legal team for Laughlin and Associates. Do they have a website? Is a great service for us to lead forward to Six Sigma for them to reach out to. Hey, if you need a website, we've got something you can do. Do they have the biggest need? Okay. How, like I've asked in the past, how do they watch and listen? They watch on Facebook, or they watch on YouTube, they listen to podcasts. Okay. Especially in the real estate niche, there's a lot of different niches. Are they in just notes? Are they in first? Are they in performing? Are they in seconds? Are they residential, commercial, that kind of aspect? I like to ask the top 3 states, especially if they're real estate, where are they looking to invest in? That helps me with future deals. Are they looking for coaching? Are they looking for money? Are they looking to partner with somebody? What do they need? What are they looking to do to help with others? That works out really good questions for writing. Who they learned from, previous events they've attended. That way you can see kind of where the experience level is coming from. Also gives you an opportunity to see somebody that, oh, I've only taken this one small class. Hey, if they miss something, maybe it leads to a follow-up question. Hey, I've got an upcoming class after the event that you might be interested in. Social media handles are great, so you can tag them or connect with them online, so you can build your following that way. Birthday is an important thing, so that if you want to, you can send an email or send a card or something personalized out to them for their birthday. They got a favorite charity. Hey, that's always a good thing. Hey, we're going to donate $50 at Christmas time or something towards, we're raising some capital. We're going to give it to a charity of your choice. Favorite color, simple things so that you can customize it. If somebody has a special thing, you can create infographics at their favorite color. People will like to share their favorite color. Green's mine, okay? If they've got a favorite superhero, cartoon, Disney character, same thing. It allows you to kind of customize things that you can follow up with them. One of the things that we did in an event is we asked people to fill out before, and they told us what their favorite Disney character was. We did a mastermind at Disney. So on their name badge was their favorite character. We did another event in Orlando, and we asked what their favorite superhero was. So when they showed up, they had a T-shirt with their favorite superhero on it. It was kind of a fun thing. Favorite city to visit, locally or domestic, that allows for people to tell you, hey, I love San Diego. Well, we're doing an event in San Diego. Oh, I love it. I'm going to go to that one now. Okay. Favorite music, movie, actor, same thing. It allows you to customize and get ahead of people. And then the most important thing is that if they've got their why or mission, why are you doing what you're doing? Your family, your kids, your charity. If you can get that far, great. It gives you so much information that you can use. Not just on sitting here to upsell somebody, but literally have an impact on the people that are attending your event and follow up and acting, like you do care, because you do care. You want to add to people, and if you can get them to fill this information out, great. You probably don't want to bombard them with all these questions, but a good chunk of them can help you really take your event to a whole another level. This is making sense, everybody? So what questions do you have before we jump on that? What questions do you guys, anybody on here have out there regarding these 64 things? Now, if you want my slides, because I know I went through them really fast, really easy. I went and bought a domain, and so it's an easier link directly to my event SlideShare slides. I've already uploaded these slides onto my SlideShare, but you can just go to eventpromotionplan.com, eventpromotionplan.com. That'll forward you directly over to my SlideShare, so you can download the slides from there if you'd like. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns from any of you? I know I went through quite a bit there. Anything pop up that really kind of surprised you? Like, oh, that was a really good one. Or, oh, I haven't thought about that. Oh, I can implement that immediately with what I'm doing. Hey, Brian. Hey, Corey. Corvée. Hey, Gerald, Jeff, Joe, and Rich. Mel, Phil, Rick, Robert, Sufin, Vance. Good to see all y'all on here tonight. But these are things that we have all, we've used in a variety of different events. Some of them we use, these are staples. Some of them we use them on bigger events. Some of these we use on smaller events. The idea here is for you to pick some of these things out. Most of these, besides the ones that are running ads like on YouTube or AdWords or Facebook marketing or posting, I think the most expensive thing I've talked about here, depending on your social media budget, would be paying for a press release or paying to be in a magazine. Some of those are going to be expensive. Some of them you can get in relatively cheap though too. All right. So, well, that is all I have for you guys to for this for this session. Hopefully, it was valuable for you. We've gone through a lot of it. We spelled out a lot of these. Some of these things work really well. Some of them don't work so well, depending on what your event is. Okay. And by event, I mean a variety of things. Once again, hey, if you're doing a webinar, you're not going to be able to post these all the time, but maybe you're doing an event. Maybe you're doing a mini summit. Maybe you're doing a lunch and learn in your local community. Or you're doing something online, okay? Or you're doing a summit. There's a whole lot of variety. I know that you're watching this. We obviously have our podcast intertwined in a lot with our teaching. We use this to promote our podcast. We use this to promote people to our website, to our events, to our webinars, just like this one, okay? So feel free to use. Once again, if you want to go to eventpromotionplan.com is the link to go to, eventpromotionplan.com. Hope it was valuable for tonight. Go out and take some action, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody.